As you all know, Cardi B announced her pregnancy recently. But did you know there might be legal implications for her husband Offset? Who's going to jail? Who's going to have to pay child support? Is Offset about to be super, super mad because he's going to have to take care of this other man's baby? Today, let's welcome in my friend and our legal expert, trial attorney Sue Ann Robinson. Sue Ann, how you doing today?
I am doing all right. How are you, Queen?
I am beautiful. So before we get into this, because there's going to be no Cardi slander, I do need to know, are you team Barty or not?
I'm very much Team Belcalis.
Team Belcalis. So you and I were talking off camera, and apparently there is a law that exists somewhere, or there was a law stating if you get pregnant by someone outside of your marriage, but you are still in a legal marriage, then the husband, your legal marriage on paper partner, has some sort of responsibility to this.
Sure, absolutely. What you're referring to is called the presumption of paternity. That's done to make sure that the child, when they're born with a marriage open, that they have a legal father figure, that someone is going to be responsible for them. So, in fact, Offset would have to disavow paternity, and then Stefan Diggs would have to establish himself as the biological father because the papers on the divorce have not dried. So technically, they're still married. So he would have Offset would be granted parental rights and responsibilities. He would have financial responsibilities. I don't anticipate that being an issue because I don't anticipate that Cardi will request financial resources from Offset for the new baby. She don't need
I
it.
mean, it could be for years of pain and suffering. I mean, it could be her last gotcha moment. Who knows?
Right. I mean, as it stands at this moment, he would have parental rights. He would have financial responsibility. The three of them, Stefan, Cardi, and Offset, could sign a document to basically disavow Offset as the legal father and establish Stefan as the biological father. If that becomes necessary, that could be done. I've only seen this issue because I don't practice in family law, but I've seen it affect wrongful death cases or personal injury cases where next of kin is an issue. And if the person passed away, but they were legally separated from the person, then how do you handle that? The legal spouse still is the next of kin, along with if they had children, if they didn't have children. So it's important to let that ink dry and get that paperwork before, be
Before
outside.
you moving on, before you be outside. And we've heard of this happening a lot. A couple will split up 10 years down the line. They just never did the divorce paperwork. Someone passes away. Both people are repartnered. However, that person that is on paper, they're the beneficiary. They get all of the things. And I've seen, and I'm sure you've seen this happen as you practice too. I've seen someone have to move out of their home and have their things sold because their partner passed away, but their partner did not legally cover and protect them and their assets. So let's hope Cardi and Offset and her new boyfriend, her new child's father, do this because we know she's told us on national television, she and her boyfriend are accepting the baby. Where in the heck does this law make sense? I always like to know the history behind the law.
I think historically the idea was if a child is born and the mother is married to someone, you want to make sure that the child is going to have financial support, legally have someone that's obligated to support the child. So the child isn't just out here with no support. I think that's kind of the foundation of it in situations where the wife or spouse could be abandoned and things like that. They want to make sure that the child still has financial support. So the only way that the legal father could get out of that is if they contest and say, hey, I'm not the father. I shouldn't be being put on child support. I don't need, custody. I don't need any of those rights or the responsibilities because I'm not the father. Then the court would order paternity, and then they would have to go through that process. If there was a question, if party was saying, I'm not sure, or if, Offset was saying he's not sure, then that would be the
Okay.
process they would have to go to. But because everyone knows what everyone knows, Cardi said, she separated from him a year ago. She also had a
Hmm.
baby with him last year, but that's neither here nor there.
Okay. Huh. And when we all saw the bump at her most recent trial, it was assumed that she was pregnant, but you never, we ain't trying to be up in women's uteruses. But now that she's confirmed it and she's confirmed who the child's father was, could she face any sort of, I mean, we know it's, for some, it's a moral dilemma because you're still legally married to your partner. Offset has been a known cheater in their relationship. She's been quite vocal about that. She's been on the press run, with this new album. That's why she's in the news now. And we're talking about her.
Mhm.
Is there any realm of possibility? And I know this is just guessing, where Cardi's like, I actually do want Offset to pay. Is there any realm of possibility where that could hold a candle in court, even though we know she's admitted who the father is?
Yeah, I think that if for in some strange universe, legally he is the father. So
Legally, he's the father. As of today, even
yes,
though she's told us.
there is a presumption of paternity because he is her legal husband. She has disavowed that publicly in the media. So it wouldn't go super far in court because her own
Okay.
words would be used against her. But if that was the case, then Offset would have to contest it and say, "Hey, I want to have paternity because I was watching the news and I seen the post just like y'all did. It's not my baby."
Contested paternity.
Hmm.
And I'm assuming, like, 'cause, with child support, we talk a lot about child support, marriage, remarriage, co-parenting, step parenting on this channel. And, with the thing with the courts I see is they want to make sure that the state and the government is not responsible for caring for your child. So they have to put the paternity somewhere, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's possible that I doubt it would happen in Cardi's case because I'm sure she will have a lot more control. But in an everyday person like myself, anyone out on the street,
You are not an everyday
maybe
girl, ma'am.
go
I'm just
have a
seeing you on
baby,
TV.
go have a baby while legally married. Your husband, your legal husband, is going to be listed as the father on the birth certificate until that court process is taken care of.
Hmm. Okay. That's a really strong case of get back too, because I think about men that have children outside of relationships and outside of marriages. Isn't that an okie doke for a woman's like, you got to take care of this one too because it's legally yours? Not giving you guys any ideas out there, but Sue Ann just told us that, ladies, you're covered in this case.
Yeah.
The baby's covered. All right, trial attorney Sue Ann Robinson, thank you so much, and we look forward to coming back. You coming back and speaking with us about the next case that's on Naja's News.